want some sauce?
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
In this video we are going to be making hot wings. And what are we going to be using? Well, I'm going to be using drumettes. A lot of times you order hot wings, they don't even give you wings. They give you these little midget legs. What we want to do is we want to take these guys and we want these to be room temperature. Anytime that you're cooking meat, especially things that have a bone in them, bringing it to room temperature a lot of times is a really important thing to do, because what happens is if it's really cold and then you try to fry it or you try to bake it or you try to grill it or anything like that, the bone on the inside is almost acting like an ice cube. So you end up having a really hot outside, but close to the bone, a lot of times it's raw. So what you do is you bring it to room temperature, so when you end up cooking these things, there's not as much cold in the middle, and that heat is going to penetrate a lot quicker and a lot easier. We've got to make some breading for it. So I'm going to take some kosher salt and I'm going to pour it inside here. And that right there with the kosher salt, that's probably close to about a teaspoon. And I'm going to put a little bit more, teaspoon and a half. Ground black pepper. Now it's important to know that with the kosher salt, a teaspoon and a half seems like a lot, but that's actually probably close to about 3/4 of a teaspoon of normal salt, table salt. But I do want to have a decent amount of pepper in this. This is paprika, and maybe a tablespoon. This is onion powder, and I'm going to be putting about half a teaspoon maybe. This is garlic powder, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. This is a little bit of cayenne pepper. All-purpose flour here, maybe close to a half a cup. So I have a little bit of cornstarch still inside here. It's about a tablespoon and a half. But adding a little cornstarch actually ends up helping. Throw it in a Ziploc bag, because this is our shake and bake. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken and we're going to throw it inside here. Alright, now that we've got that tightened, we need to make sure that this all ends up getting coated. And this is kind of a small bag, but it'll work. You just have to put a little bit more effort into it, that's all. So we're going to go ahead and give us about an hour of this just sitting here and marinating and basically becoming a batter from those juices being sucked out of the chicken a little bit and the stuff that's on the outside of it. And it'll give it a nice little breading for our hot sauce to stick to. Okay, so now we're going to end up making the sauce for these guys. And it's basically a 50-50 split of your favorite hot sauce with butter. I honestly don't think I'm going to need much more than about this. I'm just using a coffee mug because I'm going to microwave this to melt it. There's no reason to dirty a dish. And now we want to put equal amount of your favorite hot sauce. Now this sauce right here is actually pretty hot. Yeah, let's just use the rest of it. There's not much left in here. A couple hits of Tabasco. Give a little bit more of that vinegar taste. And I'm going to throw this inside the microwave. I'm going to give this a little bit more heat by putting a little bit of just straight cayenne powder in it. We'll be putting some cayenne hot sauce in there. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder in this. I'm going to put just a little bit of onion powder. And I just told myself, you know what's going to taste good with this is if we put a little bit of brown sugar in it. And during the time that I'm mixing this up, by the way, I am heating up oil so I can deep fry the chicken. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm just going to add a little bit of vinegar to it to kind of add a little bit more acidity. Shake off any excess that you have and put it in your hot oil, and do this in batches because it does have bones. You want this to maybe 5 minutes, and don't overfill the pot here because the temperature is going to drop as soon as you put these inside there. I don't want them touching each other, and I don't want it to drop the temperature of the oil. Now, if you're one of the people that really like crispy chicken, what you can do is, after you cook it initially, you cook it about 80%, 90%, take it out, let it set for about 5 minutes, put it back in for about a minute, and then you're going to have a really, really crispy outer portion of your chicken. They call it double frying, and I do it when I'm doing French fries and things like that. If at any time during the time that you're frying anything and you see that the bubbles are starting to kind of reduce, you don't see as many, it means either the moisture is no longer coming out of whatever you're frying, or the temperature of the oil has dropped significantly. Either way, it means that you're going to end up having something that's going to taste kind of oily. So one of the ways that you can kind of fix that is if you see that the bubbles are kind of calming down, you take it out, you let it set for a few minutes, let the oil get nice and hot again, let the moisture build up in whatever you're frying, put it back in there. That moisture is going to push any oil out. It's going to fry. You got about 30 seconds to a minute. It's going to crisp up, and then it won't be as oily. Now, the way that I'm going to end up putting the sauce on here is some people will just pour it in a bowl, shake it up, and let it get on there. That works, and that's fine and dandy, but we have this cup, so what we'll do is we'll just end up taking it, grab it, let it drain, and say we got one hot wing. That's the wing, these are the drumettes. And there we go, guys. We got our hot wings. I know I didn't make any sauce, but you can check out some of my other recipes where I show you how to make your homemade ranch. And next time around, I'll make the blue cheese dip for this. Usually you serve this stuff with like celery sticks. Not completely sure why. Maybe it's for the vegetarians so they feel like they're eating hot wings too. Who knows? But let's get a taste tester in here. Better get some napkins, because God knows your fingers get sticky. And I have to tell you, I do prefer it like this, where the sauce kind of absorbs into the coating, so your fingers don't get as dirty. It's not as messy of a meal, but the flavor is there. A little bit spicy.
They smell really good, man.
Yeah,
you didn't get to try one.
I can't. But I'm trying to make them where they're not super dirty on your fingers too.
Oh, yeah, they look good. Oh.
Is it really hot?
No, when I took a bite, I could smell it. That's why I was like, a good. Mmm. It's juicy. Mm-hmm. The outside is crispy.
Yep. And it shouldn't make your...
Mmm. It is good.
You can taste the spice on it?
I can smell like the spices. It smells good.
Is there any burning in your mouth happening though?
Not yet.
No. Is it just the chicken's too hot?
No, the temperature.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I remember Hunter was like, "Oh, these aren't even hot." That one time I made them out of chicken breast. But then when I put the habanero, he was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, so you be careful what you ask for because you might just get it."
These are good. See, I can feel the heat now.
That one should be cool.
I can feel it. The sauce is good. Oh, how spicy.
It's got heat, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
It catches up to you.
When you first bite into it, you're like...
It's sweet when you first taste it.
And then hopefully it just kicks in. I'm like, ooh, this is cooked really well. Mm-hmm. Crunch, and it's moist inside. It's not dry.
Yeah. It's about deep frying it correctly.
Because I think sometimes...
And make sure you put it in there at room temperature. You don't put it in when it's cold.
I think sometimes they overcook it and it gets dry, right?
If you overcook it, yeah. But also if you put it in and it's not room temperature, it's not cooked right. But anyway, guys, that's that. Hot wings, and I know, no sauce, but you'll get over it. You'll live. She didn't even have to use the paper towel because these aren't that messy.
Yeah, it's not messy.
Yep.
It's perfect. Look at this crunch.
But anyway, guys, that's that. Till next time. Talk to you later.